Now then, people, it's all late TV. We keep getting hammered for being late, to be fair. Hal's just hammered us and using the comments are hammering us as well. So, yeah, it's all late TV. It's your favourite time in the week. It's my favourite show anyway. It's before the whistle blows. We've got a jam-packed house as well as a debutant. We've got Ben from Rivalry Aside. How you doing, Ben?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. All good. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure. If you haven't already as well, guys, make sure you check out Rivalry Aside TV. Doing bits over there, similar, prediction shows, watch-alongs, all that sort of stuff. So make sure you check them out. And we've got the usual suspects. Oscar, is it cold, mate?
It is cold in here, mate. It is cold. Freezing. Can't afford electricity.
You look like you're wrapped up, man.
I've had to
jacket on.
I've had to spend all the money on Wi-Fi, and I've not spent it on electricity. So I might have good speed now. I might not drop out as much, but I'm absolutely freezing, to be honest with you, mate. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cover it up. I'm not on a rap video. I'm just cold.
Oscar, you've got to tell me. Please say you've got fingerless gloves with that look.
No, I've not, mate. I've got.
Oh, you look like a burglar from Home Alone.
What? I'll be nice to you. I'm not going to bite Hal today because we need. It's a rule. Everyone nice to Hal today.
Yeah, we're holding a vigil, aren't we? We're holding a vigil. I wish I was technologically sound because I would have that video come up as Chrissy Wilder called us Leeds Muppets just to rub it in that little bit, but. I'll not because Hal will end up leaving.
Yeah,
he is Hal.
Thanks for tagging me in that video of the Muppets thing, which then of course led to other people having a go at me because here's a Sheffield United fan that ALLLEEDSTV know. Oh, let's pile in on him. I got a load of DMs which were, can I be honest, quite frankly, rude.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that was the thing. I'm really sorry.
You should be.
Yeah, my apologies. Locks, how you doing, mate?
Yes, very good, mate. I wasn't going to come on tonight, but I heard that Wilder had been sacked, and I also heard Eleanor wasn't here tonight, so I thought it was the best time to come on. So, yes, I'm all good, thank you.
You mean you'll get a word in edgeways now that Eleanor's not about?
Well, I'm more happy for Hal because he will be able to get a word in edgeways. Obviously, he doesn't normally get the chance, but he deserves it tonight.
Locks. Right, can I just have a private moment with Locks, everyone? So, Locks, I let you down tonight, and I wanted to formally apologise because I think there's one thing that we can all agree is that a Yorkshireman's word is his bond. And I promised you that at 7:15 live, I would go on your channel and preview Leicester Sheffield United. Then we had the breaking news about Sir Chris Wilder, and I messaged you, I think quite early this morning, in fairness, and said I would still do your program because I promised you first, and as a Yorkshireman, you must stick by what you said you'd do first. You said my own channel must come first, and you fell on your sword. And I just want to take a moment here. If ever anyone has disliked Locks and his poems, this is the time now for a Locks amnesty because he's a good man and he recognised that I needed to do something else. And actually, I did just do a video. I've come straight from that. And Locks, it did very, 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 very well. We forgot to monetize it, which is a major problem. But
You were so partridge then. You went so partridge then. Major problem.
It is. It's something that I will probably not be able to now sleep for several days. But thank you. I just wanted to say that.
Anything you want to add, Locks?
Not really, no. I mean, look. It was big news. I mean, if Brendan Rodgers got sacked in the morning, I would expect the same treatment from all of you guys or from Hal. So yeah, it's big news. It's upsetting news for the Sheffield United fans. I completely understood why Hal wanted to obviously go and and do a video on his channel, and I did actually watch a bit of it before I did mine, and it was very good. So go and check that out on the Sheffield United way after this.
After this, of course.
This guy, he's definitely my favourite in this six face thing.
Oh, you bang out of order, mate. I thought we were tight.
Joe,
now, mate.
I thought
we remove you. I can't do that. We can. Me and Joe can not remove you.
Joe, I thought we were tight until you tagged me in that Muppet video, and I tell you what, I come on here in good faith. I come on here, I give up my Friday night with my good lady. Despite this face, I am married. And I've been nothing but nice about my fellow Yorkshiremen. I've been very supportive of Leeds. I always want you to do well. And you tag me in a video like that. And I have to question where we are in our relationship.
Do you know what though, mate? I'm gutted. I am gutted. I'm gutted. You know, I shared it with my brother. Me and my brother were chatting, and he was like, you know, it's sad news. He's a good man, and you know, I know Leeds fans dislike him, but he's salt of the earth kind of bloke, kind of vibe. And I do feel for you. But look, it's football. You know, we're allowed to have little digs now and again. You know, you've come on here and said, oh, you know, Rafinha's good, isn't he? So that was my little get back at you, mate. All right?
I'm serious. Rafinha is good. That isn't a dig. The man's brilliant. He's brilliant at professional football. And also, wouldn't you rather a manager that came out and called other teams Muppets rather than just plain boring every time it's the same?
Mate, I get it. If that's a Leeds manager, 100%, I get it. But if it turns back, then naturally you're going to have to accept that as well. So yeah, Corey, sorry mate, it took us a good 6 minutes to even say hello to you, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Just enjoying that dominant win over Leeds United on Monday. We're absolutely fantastic. Craig Dawson was phenomenal. Llorente didn't know where his man was. I'm doing well, mate. We're still up there, still kicking around the top 4. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, lovely stuff. It was good, man. To be fair, you didn't batter us, did you?
Of course not. Yeah, I'm playing. We really rode our luck in that second half. I thought you were going to get back in it.
Yeah, so did I. It was just another one of them. Bandor Bamford was back in town. Every so often he comes back to join the party, and then hopefully he'll have his shooting boots on for tomorrow. But guys, what I thought we would do tonight is obviously we'll start with the big news that Chris Wilder has been relieved of his duties, or is he walking? I'm sure Hal will give us the lowdown. I got a bit of stick actually on Twitter off a Sheffield United fan from my tweet that said he'd been sacked, and he was like, well, actually he's not been sacked, it's not been confirmed. And I was like, right, I'm sorry. So yeah, we'll let Hal give us that. We'll have a chat about the North London derby, the top 4 clash between, of course, Man United and the title chasers in West Ham. We'll do Leeds versus Chelsea, and then we'll finish with Liverpool Wolves, and we'll have a chat with Ben and find out if he thinks Liverpool still have a glimmer of hope for the top 4, because we know Leicester and Brendan Rodgers are doing that normal thing where they just sort of like, do you know what I mean? So, but let's. Are
you basically saying Leicester are falling apart again?
yeah, basically, mate. But Hal, do you want to start us off, mate? Talk to us what's happened, mate, over the last 24 hours, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, this morning we were given the news that Chris Wilder was leaving Sheffield United. We understood this to be true. A press conference was scheduled for 1:30. That was cancelled. A press conference was then scheduled for 5 p.m. That was cancelled. It is possible this delay now is due to a severance package. At the moment, Chris Wilder is technically still an employee of Sheffield United Football Club. And actually, on the face of it, nothing has actually happened. The club are apparently talking to Chris as we speak. It may break while we are live. So if anything does happen, please let me know in the chat, because obviously I'm doing this. And if he does leave or is sacked, we understand that under-23s manager and Leeds legend Paul Heckingbottom will take charge for the Leicester City away game. That new manager bounce will no doubt follow.
Just what is it? Just a breakdown in communication between the two? Because obviously, I think about maybe a week, 2 weeks ago, there was noise of this director of football coming in and Wilder not being happy with that. And you can understand, he's that kind of guy in it that's going to be like, I'm not having that kind of thing, Although, to be fair, from a club's perspective and from an outsider's perspective, he's got the transfer dealings wrong. If he's the one that signed off on the people that he wanted to bring in, he's got it wrong. You have to accept that fact, A number of strikers brought in and not many goals scored. And what is it down to? Is it because for me, it surely can't be sacking, because they've sacked him ages ago. What's the point in sacking him now? Look at what Burnley did with Sean Dyche. Look at what Norwich are doing with Daniel Farke. All these. For me, Sheffield United go down, they come straight back up. If Wilder's not there, I'm not too sure.
Hell of a question, that, Joe. It's probably longer than my answer.
Yeah.
He's been backed to the volume no manager of this club ever has been, or likely ever will be again, after, quite rightly, you mentioned the disastrous transfer window, to the tune of over 130 million that he's had to spend. The transfers haven't worked. That's absolutely fair. They've looked good on paper. They're transfers for the future. But, a director of football, that's a good model to follow. And all of the elite, and actually the majority of the Premier League, have a director of football in place. It's thinking to the future. Chris didn't like it, but it can work. I mean, even Burnley have a director in at the end of the season or the start of next season, and Wilder didn't want that. And if Wilder has gone on his principle, you have to respect that. But you do feel like this could have been sorted out, because Wilder's old school, like Joe says, and he's probably a bit more of that Sir Alex Ferguson, where he wants to manage the club in the old sense of he finds the players, he targets the players, he signs the players, he sits down with the players, he negotiates with the players. I think he likes to have his hands and his fingers in all the pies in the club. So, Locks, that's not a rude word. So that's where I think the breakdown has happened.
And if he was to go, where does that leave you as a fan, Hal? Like, are you fuming with the board, or do you accept it and think, well, what can I do, kind of thing?
It depends what's really happened. If Wilder has walked because of the director of football thing, it's actually easier to take than if he's been sacked. Because if he's been sacked, then the board have made a mistake, and 98% of Sheffield United fans want Chris Wilder in, build the statue. We love him. He's statistically our joint best ever manager in our entire history. He had a wonderful win percentage. And of course, a lot of that's... Well, no one's better. Danny Wilson is level with him.
Danny Wilson?
So, yes, but you've got to remember Danny Wilson was in League One. So Chris Wilder's win percentage is 51.89%, the exact same as Danny Wilson. Neil Warnock's, for example, is 53%. Dave Bassett is 38%. So he's well ahead of the others that were in the Premier League.
So I've even seen today, like, I know it's how quick, like, Neil Lennon linked and all this sort of stuff. I've seen that on social media. I mean, if he goes, do you just give it Heckingbottom till the end of the season and then look for, I don't know, who's next?
I don't know.
Give it Ecky. Give it Ecky.
No.
The only man from Yorkshire, the only man from Barnsley with a full-time job. Oh, Ecky. The only man from Barnsley with a full-time job. Sorry, that song. I can't remember what away game. I think it was Middlesbrough away. I cannot get that song out of my head.
That's a good song. That's almost as good. We had a song for Johnny Ertle, which was brilliant, which was to the tune of Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Which the end of it is bring him off at half-time. Ertle power.
Oh, no. That's as bad as Keane Bryan's song. That.
Yeah, I was just going to bring up that as well. Ho, 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 Keane
Bryan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. In unison. The rumours, by the way, of who's like going to come in and replace him, they'll make you feel sick. They'll make you literally throw up in your mouth. The likes of Danny Cowley, Slaven Bilic, Alan Pardew, I'll tell you in a second, Eddie Howe, Rafa Benitez. These are the names that we're being linked with. And I think the thing is...
Eddie Howe's all right.
Can't see that.
I'm not having
good
that.
names. Bilic and Eddie Howe. You'd do well to get them.
Right, so Eddie Howe doesn't like the North. He went to Burnley and he didn't like the North. He literally did not like the North of England, so he couldn't hack it, so he left. Eddie Howe has a relegation on his CV. Chris Wilder at the moment technically doesn't. So if we want someone that's already proven they can take a club down from the Premier League, Eddie Howe's your man. We've already got someone who's doing that, who also loves the North, knows Sheffield, knows the people. That's Chris Wilder. Eddie Howe's not better than Chris Wilder. Also, Eddie Howe spent even more than Chris Wilder. So that's why I don't want Eddie Howe. Slaven Bilic probably couldn't even point at Sheffield on a map. I think he's a good manager. You know I like Slaven Bilic. But my point, again, is Chris Wilder knows Sheffield, knows the people, knows the system, brought all these players in. Slaven doesn't know them. So why would he be better? I'm just trying to get my head around it. I cannot fathom why anyone would be better than Chris Wilder.
But you just answered your own question. You said in terms of Wilder not spending... I think Wilder should have stayed for the season. You know, he won 7 out of the last 14 games, hasn't he? It seems mad getting rid of someone after he won... Or if they have sacked him, which obviously it sounds like he's walked, but if they've sacked him after he's won 7 out of his last 14 games, that's an absolute joke. That is an absolute joke. But if he's spent all this money badly, then why is then why would not bringing the director of football in and an Eddie Howe or Slaven Bilic not work though, Hal? If they're
it might work.
Spending the money better.
Oscar, you're absolutely right, and it might work. And this is raw Hal talking. This is emotions are still high. This is my. I've literally got
Chris... back. Get Colin back.
Some people have said that. I've literally got a Chris Wilder sticker on this laptop that I'm using to talk to you, which I've had on for 6 years. I love the man. He sat behind me at Palace away about 10 years ago. He's a proper fan. So I don't want someone to come in that doesn't know the club and doesn't love the club and doesn't care about the club as much as me. We've got that man now. He's still young. He cares as much as we do. And he can prove it on his CV. He can show it that he brings clubs back up. So I just want him to stay.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a mad one, mate. And I feel for you, you know. I do, Hal. Straight away when I seen it. You're the first person that came into my head. Ben, what are your thoughts? I mean, if it's a bit of a mad time for it to happen, isn't it? Especially when you consider the season that Sheffield United have, for them to fall out and push the button now, as it were, sacked, walked, whatever it is. It's a bit of a mad situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to understand it, isn't it? Like Hal's just saying, he's one of their own, isn't he? So for them, the situation that they're in, I think it would have been the best option to keep until the end of the season. I'm sure time will tell, and we'll soon find out. I think one of the big problems for Sheffield United this season is no fans. I think they rode the wave with the fans last season. It's had a big impact. We've seen it at our club. Can't find a win to save African lives, you know what I mean? It's a strange one. It's tough to see who gets that job. But then is it similar to the way Liverpool sacked Rodgers? Have they already got someone lined up? Klopp was announced quite quick. So you never know. It's going to be interesting to see. Is it a good thing that they're parting ways? In my eyes, no. I don't see them getting any sort of bounce, as bad as it sounds. I think the best man for the job would have been Wilder, just to see out the season. It's hard to say. It's a strange one. I can see why Hal's gutted on it, as you would be if he's one of your own, you know, sitting behind you in the stand. It'd be similar like if Steven Gerrard was the manager of Liverpool and something like this happened. It's got to be something serious for him to go, hasn't it? Because the way he talks in the media, he didn't want to go. So something seriously happened. So it's a strange one in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Oscar, we have first-hand knowledge of Paul Heckingbottom and the skills that man possesses as a manager.
Hugo Kane over Calvin Phillips, I remember being one of them.
Yeah. Do you give him any hope of having any? I mean, if he comes in, I assume it might just be for the one game. But I know they've got Leicester up next. But I mean, Heckingbottom's no good, is he?
I don't. Sometimes in these caretaker ones, you do get a bit of a bounce off them. I don't know. Probably not. I think if Heckingbottom gets a job between now and the end of the season, I can't see anything improving. If I'm being honest, just purely based on what we've seen. I mean, he was at Hibernian as well, wasn't he? But after he left us, didn't really pull up any trees there. So I can't see it. I mean, you just have to remember his time in charge with us. I mean, we weren't great under Thomas Christiansen, and he made Thomas Christiansen look like the best manager we've had like in 20 years in terms of in comparison. People were like asking for Christiansen back and that lot. And yeah, I mean, there was some mind-boggling things he used to do. I remember one thing that really annoyed me about Heckingbottom was when he picked on the younger players in the press conferences, like sort of called them out. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Why are you calling out the younger players? You know, you're playing Werner Manisi, you're playing Lawrence de Bock, and I mean, he was not great. He was not great, let's be honest. I mean, I can't see it. I can't see nothing happening.
I remember, to be honest, I was reminded of one of the first videos I did when Heckingbottom was put in charge after Christiansen had gone, and had said, oh yeah, I'm excited by him as a young coach. He brought through John Stones. He brought through Alfie Mawson at Barnsley, and they both went, you know, I think Mawson was playing at Swansea in the Premier League at the time, and obviously Stones has gone on to do great things, to be fair. But when he actually got going, he just wasn't quite up to it, was he? No good.
There was one high point. Well, it wasn't even a high point. It was the odd good away game. But I remember, what was it? I think it was QPR on his last game. It actually looked like he was starting to get something going, and then he left like the week after. And don't forget anyone. No one was bothered when he left.
Against Stoke, he was brought in to do the commentary. We absolutely hammered Stoke on the opening day of the season, and didn't he make a comment saying he'd actually
it's his team.
he'd recommended Bielsa to the board and that. And it was like, where are you getting this from, Paul? And yeah, and I think they just turned around to him and went, because it was the exact same team from the previous season, and they said to him in the thing, why couldn't you do this with these players?
You remember Myanmar as well? I can't even pronounce it. I've just completely wrecked the country's pronunciation there. But Myanmar, do you remember that tour?
Myanmar,
yeah. And I just remember him with his glasses on, right? His sunglasses on. Has anyone ever watched that Alan Partridge episode when the guy pretends to be Bono and that lot? And he pretends to be, he's got the glasses on. He pretends to Anyone? No?
I've seen that.
Hal's shaking his head. He just basically like him kind of thing. He just had these glasses on, like the cheapest sunglasses you've ever seen, and he was just like, and that was it for him after that tour. We got rid of him. He didn't make the impression.
No. I mean, that tour was poor anyway, weren't it? We went to a country that was
poorly judged. That whole
been done for human rights
as well. Let's not forget the badge as well. It all happened in
this is the thing, Oscar. I hate to do this, but I'm sort of reveling in it a little bit because normally it's Leeds United in Yorkshire on the butt of these kind of jokes. We had Hockaday, we've had all these Milanich, we've had Steve Evans, all this sort of stuff. So it's nice to see Leeds.
But it could be us next. You never know. It could be us this time. I'm not saying it's going to be. If Bielsa did one day call it a day, this could be us. This is the scary. We've got to enjoy it.
Hecking.
No, I'm not saying that. Not that bad. I mean, no. I'm sorry.
It's probably the most Yorkshire name as well, isn't it? Heckingbottom.
Well, do you know the other option is Neil Redfern?
Is he working at Sheffield?
Yeah, Sheffield United, Oscar. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So,
sorry. That was terrible.
That was awful.
Give him Redfern over Heckingbottom or any day of the week.
I've read Paddy Kenny's book, and he has nothing good to say about Neil Redfern. So I'm torn. I don't know. Yeah,
but I think at that time, though, when Paddy was at Leeds, I've not read his autobiography, but it was at a stage when we were trying to bomb that sort of crew out, weren't it? Do you know what I mean? And Cellino, I think Cellino weren't sold on him because of his date of birth as well, because of the unlucky number 17, etc. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying about Leeds United. We were an absolute shambles, but Redfern's better than Heckingbottom, that's for sure. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't
want either of them.
No. You want Chris? Who would you want?
Who would you want, Cal?
It's funny, isn't it? Redfern and Heckingbottom both been at Barnsley and both been at Leeds, and they've got no connection to Sheffield United at all, apart from now currently being employed by them. Who do I want? I want Chris Wilder.
You're the director of football at Sheffield United. You can't go back for Wilder. He's told you to F off. He's threatened to punch your lights out, etc., etc. I can only imagine that was what was said in the. I can't imagine it being amicable.
Well, this is why Redfern and Heckingbottom are in at Sheffield United, because Chris could probably gone, get the lads in from Yorkshire and that, man. Get them in here. We'll go for pints of bitter after work and that. That's what that's about, man.
I would want someone who cares about the club, someone who loves the club, and someone who knows the club. So
Kevin Blackwell.
Now, you will not find anyone who's been under the cosh that has a good word to say about him.
Does anyone have a good word to say about Kevin Blackwell?
He picked up my mate Adrian, who was hitchhiking, which is probably illegal. Picked up Adrian and drove him all the way from Luton to Sheffield, which was very kind of him. Oh, Corey's had a power cut.
Pitch black. Hang on.
Corey's getting the beers out and the tunes on.
Go on, pick a name, Hal. Pick a name. Just first name that comes to mind, other than Wilder.
Nick Montgomery.
Nick Montgomery. Okay.
I feel like Oscar when the lights went out.
Nick Montgomery is currently working for Central Coast Mariners in Australia as a coach, doing really well. And we had him on our channel recently. He said he'd love to come back. He's a bit of a Blades legend. He's from Leeds, but we don't hold that against him. And I would love him to come because he cares and he gets it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be an interesting few days. It probably wouldn't surprise me if it turns around. Corey, what do you reckon? Still tomorrow, Chris Wilder to be leading out the Blades to get beat by Leicester?
No, he's gone, isn't he? He's gone by the Suns. Yeah, it's a weird one. If you look at it objectively, he has technically failed. They are the second worst team, I think, in Premier League history this season. The recruitment's been incredibly poor. But having said all of that, if you were going to employ anyone to get you back up from the Championship, and I'm sure there's a couple of clubs looking at it, would be Chris Wilder. So I'm massively shocked that they've let him go, and I think they've been a bit too stubborn this year, Sheffield United, in terms of tactically. And I'm sure he's better than what he's shown, but you'd have to give him. There's got to be something. There's so much more to it behind the scenes, and if it's something to do with a director of football, how politically sensitive that is, then fair play to him. If he's fallen on his sword and said, I'm not going to work under those conditions, then you've got to give him respect, because some managers will just stay under regimes like that. And it must be hard for him as well, as a Sheffield United fan, player, and now manager, to leave. So you can only assume how bad it got for him to get to that situation, because for me, he would never have walked otherwise. There'd be no reason for him to.
No, he's a proud man. You can tell that. You know, he's such a proud man, and it'll be killing him, won't it? But that's the thing, you know. Props to him. If, like Oscar said, there'll probably be a lot of effing and jeffing going down when they're having these conversations. Do you know what I mean? And I can imagine.
I can't agree with the failing thing. You know, he was decided between Charlton and Sheffield United when he took over in 2016, and we were bottom of League One. So you can't say he's failed at all. And the injuries this season have been huge, and we haven't been able to keep the same side one game to the next. So I know what you mean. In terms of Premier League this season, yes.
Yeah, but play devil's advocate. If those signings were his signings in terms of recruitment, then he has failed because he hasn't strengthened in areas that he should have done. You can't legislate for injuries, as Liverpool will say. But at the same time, that squad, when you look at it, McGoldrick, as good as a player as he's been, is not, for me, a Premier League player. So there's so many elements to it where he could have improved. I know I'm digging him out. And I'll rate him as a player. I genuinely do, Hal. But
Got McGoldrick on the back of this shirt. What are you
He's quality. He's quality. I'd have him at West Ham as a 10. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
You know, you speak a lot of sense. I just can't. I don't want anyone saying Wilder's been a failure because of the transformation. Literally, we were going one way when he took over. That was League Two. Unthinkable. And if he'd taken over at Charlton, it would be Charlton who are in the Premier League right now.
Where do you think he goes next?
He could have his pick, couldn't he, Oscar? Yeah. I think it'll be a mid-table Premier League side. I think he'll take a bit of time out of the game, and then I think someone will sack someone next season in the Premier League, and he'll go there and do very well. And we'll have to watch from a distance as a Sheffield United fan gets a team that isn't very good into Europe.
Do you not see him? Because I've seen obviously friends of ours in the Championship. The name of the podcast, the full second tier. What am I on about? The full 92. The second tier though tweeted out and said it's crazy that he's going to be going, and they'd say there'd be a number of Championship clubs that would snap him up straight away. Do you not see that as an option for him, Hal? Do you think he'll say, no, I'm Premier League quality now, I'll wait out?
Yeah, he'll go somewhere like, well, Newcastle's a good example. If Steve Bruce does finally go, I think Wilder goes in at Newcastle and does very, very well, because Newcastle's squad on paper is stronger than Sheffield United's.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout. There's a few people in the comments, and I've seen it mentioned on Twitter. Celtic, would they take him?
Alan Partridge shrug. I think he'll want to. He might. He loves Scottish football, so he might.
He might. Right. Well, we're 29 minutes in, and we've absolutely hammered, and spoke about Sheffield United and done it a bit of a depth. But Locks, obviously, you play them tomorrow. What we expecting, pal? Easy win, easy 3 points.
It's difficult. Obviously, on paper, when you look at the league table, we should be having them. They made it difficult for us in the reverse leg earlier on in the season. It was a 2-1 win for Leicester, but it was hard fought, and Jamie Vardy with a late winner, destroying the Bramall Lane corner flag after he scored. But I think there's always that worry, when a manager leaves a club, it's always worry about the bounce back. And Leicester have had a few of them over the years, like when we sacked Ranieri and Craig Shakespeare came in, we went and beat Liverpool 3-1. So you've always got to worry about that. I thought it was going to be a difficult game anyway, even if Wilder was still in charge. I think it just adds to that a bit more now that he's gone, because of the bounce back that they could have. So, yeah, I still expect us to win. I think, maybe I don't think I think it will be close. I think it maybe 1-0, 2-1, something like that. But yeah, going back to the Wilder situation, I've seen a lot of tweets today comparing it to the Ranieri sacking. I don't know if you've seen it, Hal. But for me, I think it would have made more sense sacking Wilder earlier on. I think now it's too late. I don't think Sheffield United will stay up. I don't think that will happen. whether they sacked him or kept him. With the Ranieri one, I think it was split. The fan base was split on whether people agreed with it or not. But in this case, I think the majority of Sheffield United fans are very upset about the decision. So, yeah, it's a weird one, like we've all said. But yeah, looking forward to Sunday's game. I think we'll win. I think it'll be a close one. So I'm going to go with a 1-0. I think Jamie Vardy to end his goal drought.
Oh, yeah. Great! Yeah, love that.
Against them, right? What about you, Hal? What are you expecting?
I've got to address that comment from Mega King Richard, who says Wilder is a negative manager.
Yeah.
Now, Chris Wilder, if we're down to 10 men, still plays 2 up front. He created overlapping defenders, central defenders, to constantly attack. Chris Wilder is the exact opposite of a negative manager. All he is about is, as they say in America, offense. He is about attack. He's not negative. The fact that we don't score a lot of goals is down to the players not being good enough. His tactics are spot on for being positive. He sets out every game to score more than the opposition. So he's not a negative manager. That is absolute nonsense. You know nothing about football.
Hal, let me just back you up here, bro. Let me back you up here. Mega King Richard also was on our big match preview at 6 p.m. and said that
slagged him off.
No, that's fine, because he also said Cooper was the worst defender at the football club, and Melier needs replacing ASAP, as he is one of the worst keepers we have, and he's brought the record for the most clean sheets for a keeper under the age of 21. So I sort of agree with you. I'm sorry, Mega King Richard, and and I know you like Oscar more than me, as you let me know earlier on, but you are wrong, and you also are wrong about Chris Wilder and Hal as well, mate. Okay.
I like his picture of the dancing penguins, though. I like that's maybe it's heart over head there, but I like his picture. To be fair.
Yeah.
I think
Mega King Richard.
Yeah, Mega King Richard. Maybe football isn't for you.
But score-wise, Hal?
God, I haven't even thought about this game today. I literally haven't even thought about. I've normally done my predicted 11. I put it on Twitter. I normally do my my previews, my prep, and all that. I look at who's injured. I haven't thought about it for 1 second. We don't even know who's going to be the manager, so that means I've no idea of the formation. I've no idea who's injured because the press conference was cancelled. I actually think by Premier League protocol, you have to do a press conference 48 hours before a game. So I don't even know what's going to happen there with Sheffield United because we cancelled 2. So that could be that's a minor worry at the moment. Let's be honest. Yeah. What do I think?
What about the press conference? Not about the press conference.
It's all about the press conference, Oscar. I can't take you seriously dressed like that. You've got to put the fingerless gloves on.
Someone said he looks like a 70-year-old American.
Yeah, you do. You look like a tourist. You look like you've been photoshopped into your own life.
I've got a Philadelphia Eagles shirt on under this.
Of course you have. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'll tell you, I'll do this prediction. The game will definitely go ahead.
Nice.
Why not?
Right,
let's get some conference first.
Let's get some quick predictions on this one. I'm going 3-0 Leicester. Ben?
I'm joining you 3-0. I think a few of the players in that Sheffield United side are going to be gutted. I think it's going to have an impact on the game. And I think with that goalkeeper that Sheffield United have got, don't rate him at all. I think Leicester put them to the sword tomorrow, unfortunately. Sorry to say, Al, but it's one of them. What can you do?
Well, Ben, you nearly called us United, which meant that you were about to become my favourite person on earth. Because anyone who calls Sheffield United United, as we were the first ever United, instantly gets a lot of respect from me. But you checked yourself before you wrecked yourself, as Ice Cube might say, and ended up going with Sheffield United. So it's by the by.
By the by. Corey?
2-0 Leicester. Vardy at the double, I reckon, if he's back.
Yeah, Oscar?
Yeah, 1-0 Leicester. 1-0 Leicester.
1-0. No, I think I agree with what Ben said. I think it's such a drastic change from the amount of years that he's been there. These players will hang on his every word, I'd imagine, and for him to not be there and some young pup in Paul Heckingbottom trying to tell him how to go on in the Premier League, they're probably like, nah, not a chance, mate. So it's going to get from bad to worse, I think, unfortunately, for Sheffield United and Hull. Let's move it on, and we'll chat about the London derby, the North London derby, should I say. Sorry, Corey, I don't know if calling it a London derby
No,
is...
that's cool, man. We're good. We're good.
Is that all right? Yeah, I didn't know.
Bottle jobs are taking on Arsenal.
Hey?
Bottle jobs are taking on Arsenal, so that's a derby. We won ours, so we're cool.
Yeah, cool. But on this, I've just had I was doing a bit of research, as I like to do when I'm doing this show, and it turns out Arsenal haven't actually won a derby since December 2018. So that's quite a long time, and obviously Spurs are in great form. Corey, you know quite a bit about both sides being from down that neck of the woods. How do you see this one going, mate?
It's frustrating because if any side had Gareth Bale coming back into it, I think they would do well, particularly at this time of the season. And they look reinvigorated. I think we touched on it a few weeks ago. He's never really been able to galvanise, has he, Mourinho? And it feels a little bit like the squad are playing for him again, which is a bit odd. I don't know whether it's because of COVID and there's no sort of fans there and he's got the pressure off a little bit. But yeah, I think Spurs go into it big favourites, if I'm honest. I think Arsenal look a little bit disjointed. I think there's an issue with mentality from Arteta's standpoint. The amount of errors they make in each game is ridiculous. I know they won, I think it was 3-1 the other day. So they've got some decent form, but the Burnley game wasn't good enough. They'll be frustrated. So I think it's an interesting one, but I think Spurs are favourites, and I think they've got to win it if they're going to try and get into that top four.
Yeah, it's a must-win, innit? It's a must-win for the minute, Ben.
I agree. I do agree, but I think it's going to be. Look, I can see why people say Spurs are massive favourites, but I think it's a tough game for Spurs. I think Arsenal aren't expected to win it. I don't think they really need to win. I think they're going to put all their eggs into the Europa League. For me, it's which defence copes better, because I think both defences are terrible. Arsenal have got players on that pitch to affect them. I think that Saka's outstanding. I know Liverpool were looking at him before he signed his new contract. Do you know what? It's hyped up a lot, but I could see it being a boring 1-1 draw, to be honest. Something tells me that it's one of them. I think Mourinho has to set them up to attack Arsenal. If he doesn't, pour from him, and I think the Spurs would be pissed off with that. Let's see. It's going to be an interesting watch, but I've got a 1-1 draw. For some reason, it's kind of telling me I think Arsenal would take that all day.
Oh, yeah, I think they would. I think, Bale, Son and Kane absolutely flying at the minute, Locks. Do you... I mean, Arsenal are pretty woeful defensively as well, right? But it is a North London derby. Anything can happen in a derby. How do you see it going, Locks?
Yeah, I mean, both teams can do damage on their day. Both teams are absolutely shocking at the back on their day. So, Gareth Bale, as a Welshman, I'm glad to see him, back on form and scoring goals and setting up goals, and it's great to see after a tough period in Madrid. But yeah, I think Son and Kane were enough to cause serious damage to teams, on their day, and I think Gareth Bale added to that is just something else. So. I think Ben's right. I think it was Arsenal he was talking about putting all their eggs into the Europa League basket, and I think that's what they'll do. They'll want to win a trophy. But to be fair, so do Tottenham. They need a trophy, they really do. So I do see Tottenham coming out on top though this weekend. I think Kane and Son and Bale will be too much. And I'm probably going to go... I don't know if you wanted my score prediction yet, Joe. Sorry.
Let's have it, mate. Let's have it.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Tottenham win.
2-0 Tottenham win. Hal?
Yeah. I tell you, Locks, I sometimes wish I was Welsh, because I love Wales. I think it's a beautiful place. I would learn Welsh. I know people have a go at the language. I think it's a brilliant language. The word cwtch is fantastic, isn't it?
Cwtch,
That's a great,
yeah.
Cwtch, a great word. There's so many good words in it. And I like the expressions, like "it's raining old women and sticks" is the translation from like the "raining cats and dogs," which doesn't make any sense, but it's good. Don't lift your petticoat up after you've had a pee. That's another Welsh saying, which I'm translating them here. I don't know the original Welsh, but I think it's a wonderful place.
There's lots, because Welsh people don't even know Welsh, do they?
Well, I know Welsh. They're taught it in school. I did get an A in Welsh GCSE, but I think the best word, which you didn't mention it, Hal, is actually the Welsh word for microwave. And it is actually poppety ping. which I found, which is very amusing. But yeah, poverty ping is the word for microwave. But yes, carry on, Hal.
Yeah, police I know is headlu,
Yeah.
and Landudno is Clandidno, which is pronounced like that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the London derby.
Great stuff. All bail, aren't we? Then from Hal, Oscar.
Yeah, be a good game. This be a really good game. I think obviously looking at it on paper, Baleson, Kane, it's going to cause Arsenal problems. There's no doubt about that. But I think obviously Arsenal having Gabriel back in the team has made a bit of an impact. I think he scored last night, didn't he? Depends how strong Arsenal go. It depends how strong Arsenal go in this game, because Arsenal realistically, to make Champions League football next season, the most realistic opportunity for them is to win the Europa League. It's not really going to be, not going to finish top 4 now. For Tottenham, I think Tottenham have always got 2 entries into it. They can either go into the top 4 themselves or win the Europa League. So I think Arsenal might take it a bit less seriously, which seems a bit crazy, but I think they're so desperate to win another trophy under Arteta, because he needs to win a trophy. If they're going to finish like 10th, they're going to have to win something, to kind of make up for a bad league season. So, again, I don't watch a lot of Europa League. I don't. You don't think? I think they could. I think an English team can win it.
Not Arsenal, though.
Why not?
Because they're shit.
Have you seen the Europa League? Europa League's not brilliant. It's not.
No,
brilliant.
if an English team's going to win it, it won't be Arsenal. Surely not. I don't know. I'm just not sold on Arteta.
I don't know. I think Saka, Aubameyang starting to find the goals a bit more. Partey back in the team's a massive one for them. I think Partey will be the best midfielder on the pitch in the game. I just see Arsenal having a lot of the ball when Tottenham's sitting back, and I think it just depends on the front 3 versus the front 3. Will Saka outperform Son? I think you'd have to back Tottenham, though. I just think there's a little bit more proven know-how there. I think Kane's playing really well at the minute, particularly well. I back Tottenham, but I think it'll be closer than you think. I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham.
Cool. Does anyone else sort of think Arsenal can win a trophy this season?
No. They haven't got it in him, I don't think. I really don't. I know they've done all right recently, but for me, Arteta, even if he is a good coach, he's still very, very young. And when you get to those tournaments, when you get to a semi-final, even if Arsenal do get there, they'll make a mistake, and they make a mistake every other game at the minute. So I can't see them. I think Tottenham will be the most likely to win it. Given what I saw from United last night, I think Tottenham with Mourinho are more likely to win the Europa League than the other 2.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's their best chance of getting in the Champions League. There's no way they're getting top 4.
No, sorry. I just thought it was. I just don't see.
I think they'll just take it more seriously than like Tottenham
you think
will.
they'll be allowed to, though? It's a North London derby. Surely Arteta. I mean, he's already getting a bad ride of it. Surely he's got to go all out for this one. Because it'd be nice if they weren't. Obviously, they're not getting top 4. They probably won't win the cup. For me, the UEFA Cup, as you mentioned, Europa League. Them hampering Tottenham would be a win, I guess, for some of the Spurs fans. Do you know? Arsenal fans, sorry.
Suppose
They're just so inconsistent, Arsenal, aren't they? They win one, they lose one. What, if they won 11, lost 11, something like that? And will they win a trophy? They might win the Fair Play trophy.
Yeah, won two of the last 12 as well, which is crazy when you think about it. But we'll have to wait and see. I think Spurs will win it and win it well. 3-1 Spurs. Bale, Son and Kane all to get on the score sheet for me. That'd be nice. But Europa League, I want to see Stevie G and Rangers win it. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, Ben? Be nice if Rangers were to meet, Man United along the way and Stevie G to pick them out. That'd be nice.
Would be very nice, mate. No one fucking likes Man United, do they? I think Stevie's done unbelievable. Yeah. Unbeaten all season. That takes some doing, do you know what I mean? And let's be honest, Rangers have been terrible for years. So to pick them up like he's done, fair play to him. I think he needs to take the next step now. I think like a Dortmund or something would be a perfect job for Stevie, because he is going to end up at Liverpool. Let's make no mistake about it. But, it's somebody
I want him in next
doing at the minute.
Leeds.
Really?
Yeah.
Mate, he brings the fan base together. Look at the Rangers fans with him. See the videos outside at the Ibrox. Yeah. Flares and everything going off.
Roof?
Yeah.
Good.
He was on the Jemba, weren't he? Definitely. Anyway, that's for another day. But he was on something. Old Kemar.
Yeah,
Kemar. Yeah, great. No, I would have him. Or Gabriel Heinze as well. That's another one which I know maybe some Leeds fans won't be after that, but I don't know. We'll have to wait.
We don't
and
want a
see.
scummer in charge. Don't want a former scummer.
No, but I don't know. He's doing. I don't know, mate. We'll have to wait.
I know what you mean.
He's talking about that succession plan and someone that's going to, bring in a similar sort of stuff. And Stevie G's is doing amazing stuff with Rangers, and I know Heinz is doing bits. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Bielsa's going to be here forever anyway. He's told us.
How old is Bielsa now?
Couldn't tell you, mate, off the top of my head.
I think almost 66. I think soon, so 65.
So that's the only worry, isn't it? The time is against the man. That he's at retirement age.
Yeah. I think he said the other day, didn't he, that he sees himself being here for the rest of his career and all that sort of stuff. And I do think, like you say, I think one of the key things, Hal, for me, and Phil Hay said it as well, is that when Bielsa's done here, he's at an age when really is there another top job out there for him to want to go at the age that he is? And maybe he sees Leeds United as his final swan song. He's already been here longer than he's been anywhere else. I believe his wife's come over now as well. So, I think this is his final goodbye to football. And what a way it will be when we enter the Champions League in a couple of seasons, I
just wish Bielsa was 35 rather than 65, It would just be, he'd be leading Leeds to Champions League and then eventually maybe challenging for the title if he still had 30 years ahead of him of managerial experience to go. But unfortunately, he's probably got 3 years max.
Two or 3 years. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a sad day when that happens. To be fair, I'll be like you are now, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Leeds United won't mess about and have 3 or 4 press conferences cancelled, and you won't have a clue, and you won't be in limbo for 24 hours.
No, that's true. No, that's definitely true, because Bielsa's not about that. He would just go straight in and go, I'm gone. And then he'd be on next flight back to Argentina, that's for sure. Right, cool. Let's talk about some more top 4 tackle with West Ham. Corey still can't believe they're quite there. You've got a massive fixture this weekend at Old Trafford against Man United. How do you see it going, mate? Is it a must-win, Corey, if you've got realistic chances of staying in the top 4? It's getting to the back end of the season. Is it a must-win for you?
I wouldn't go that far, but I think it's a really good opportunity. The injuries they've got are substantial. We're talking no Martial, no Rashford, Pogba, Cavani. This is the best chance West Ham will have to go to Old Trafford and really put them to the sword. I know without Lingard, but we've got Mickey Antonio for the first time against United, and I just want to see him up against Maguire and Lindelof, and we haven't seen it yet. I genuinely believe, having done the preview, I think we've got a real chance. I want Moyes to be brave, and that's been the biggest question mark this season in terms of West Ham finishing in the top 4. Can he go and play a top 6 side and get a result when it matters? And I think it takes the pressure off us. We've got Arsenal coming up, Wolves and Leicester. And probably before the injuries for United, I would have said Leicester, Chelsea, maybe they're 6-pointers. If we somehow pull a result out of that, we throw ourselves into it. But when you get presented with a chance like this, you have to absolutely take it. I'm sure Moyes is looking at it with a relatively fully fit squad saying, let's go and get the win up there. We can do it. Set pieces, they're horrific. I've never seen them that bad, particularly the other night as well. West Ham from set pieces have scored the most goals. So I'm feeling relatively confident. But at the same time, the only time I've seen West Ham performing against the top 6 is against Manchester City. So we've got to go and show that again. And you're getting towards the tail end of the season where, listen, if we get a point, fine. But I think there'll always be a bit in my back of my head saying, do you know what, I wish we'd gone for the 3. But as long as we go for the 3, I'm sweet with that. But they're a good side. So,
how much of a loss is Jesse Lingard, do you think, for tomorrow's game? Who will come in there? Will Ben Rama start?
I think West Ham fans are thinking between a 3-4-3, possibly maybe Ben Rama's not in there. I want a 4-2-3-1 because I think Ben Rama can cause them some serious issues. And even against you lot on Monday, he was relatively absent from the whole game, but 20 minutes even for the first goal with Jesse. And you see the link up between the two. I think we'll miss that evidently, but Lingard's such a good player. He's so underrated in terms of what I thought of him, like the way he plays between the lines, the way he carries the ball. But you'd hope Ben Rama can show that. Ben Rama needs a goal. That's all he needs to his game because everything else I'm pretty happy with. But yeah, I'm gutted. He's so important for us, Jesse.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you mentioned poor at set pieces. Are they as bad as Leeds, do you think?
No, Llorente got led a merry dance by Craig Dawson. I said on the stream for the watch hour, what on earth is that? And I was like, you've not clearly done your homework on Craig Dawson or West Ham at set pieces if you're letting them not get tracked.
Mate, he lost him. I reckon I counted about 4 times he lost him. And then at half-time, Cooper was put on Dawson in the second half.
Well, when I pointed that out, I just got stick on the comments. Apparently, I was out of order for having to go at Llorente for that. He had a good game, apparently, according to
No, Oscar, let's not do this. He did have a good game, man.
No, he didn't. He lost his man 4 times on the set pieces.
I'll tell you from a West Ham perspective what I thought of Llorente, right? He was very good at playing between the lines and getting the ball and initiating the attacks, fine. But set pieces have always been a problem for you. So I don't know whether it's actually him or whether it's just the way that you set up. I can't quite make it out.
Do you know what it is, right? It's Bielsa. In terms of a centre-back, defending is what they're supposed to be good at, right? Bielsa favours ball-playing abilities over that stuff. It's just a fact. So, yes, poor at set pieces. We employ a man-marking system. He was woeful. I get it. But ultimately, and this is what I try to convey to Leeds fans, is you have to accept these things. Because Bielsa, if he has a choice between someone who can head the ball or someone who can play between the lines, like Corey said, he's taking that man, regardless if we're the worst set piece, defending at set pieces in the league. He doesn't care, and it's that's what I'm saying. But I do think that he was pretty woeful. I mean, he weren't even looking at him at one point, and he's just heading it back at net, and it was like, what? You can't
do that with Craig Dawson. You can't. No. But what I will say about Chelsea, and I'm sure you'll speak about it, is that's the type of pass you need to break their press. And once you beat that Chelsea press in the midfield and you isolate that back three, then sort of all bets are on. Do you know what I mean? So he might come good in that game. You never know, but is what it is. I guess if Bielsa wants to play that way, he just sticks by it.
Yeah, Oscar's just got an agenda against him, that's all. So
I like him. I actually like him, but I'm picking out he's not very good in the air.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. Ben, what are your thoughts on Man United, West Ham? Still surprised that West Ham are there?
I am. They've done really well, haven't they? You've got to take your hat off to Moyes, because I think a lot of people have been not too in his corner. I think there was a few West Ham fans that didn't want him at the club for a while. But fair play to him. He is a good manager. You know what I mean? He didn't get the United job for the sake of it. He didn't go to plan for him. But we know at Everton he was a decent coach. You know what I mean? Even if he still couldn't beat us at Anfield. But that's a topic for another day. Man United, for me, they're lucky to be where they are. I think United need to sort themselves out, or they're going to drop out if they carry on the way they are. And last night just typifies it. I think the bang average at the back. What was that keeper doing in goal last night? So I think that's probably, it's going to haunt them in the next leg. It's going to be interesting to see how fresh they are going up against this West Ham side.
Yeah. But
I think West Ham would snap your hands off if you offered them a draw. I think it's going to be a big ask for them to beat Man United. They seem to find a way to just see out the game, United, and I think that's what could happen. Although it is, for me, the best time for West Ham to go to Old Trafford, but I think they'd settle for a draw, and I can see it being a 1-1.
It's mad, isn't it, Corey? Because we were chatting, we did a podcast for Mundo Sports, and Jack said to me, Dean Henderson for number 1, England number 1, and I went, nah. And then the same evening,
I'll rate him though. I'm sure Hal will talk about him in terms of his talent. I do think he can be a good keeper, but he can't be doing what he did last night. It was poor marking, but I don't know what it is. He's still young. He'll improve. Yeah. Hopefully get out his game.
You've said it before though, haven't you? Hal, England's number 1, future England's number 1.
Dean Henderson, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen enough of him to know that he's brilliant. And, he does make mistakes. The problem with goalkeepers, as we all know, is when you make a mistake, it usually leads to a goal, or it's the thing you remember from the game. But he needs regular games. He needs to constantly be playing, same with good strike partnerships as well. You need to constantly be playing to get that rhythm. I think goalkeeper's the most important position for knowing that you're going to play every week, not just playing every week. That fear of, I might be dropped, you're extra nervous, more likely to make an error.
True. Locks, this is an interesting one for you. Obviously, it's interesting. Ben thinks Man United could be in trouble, maybe dropping out of there. Yous are looking a bit shaky at times, and obviously West Ham as well. Who would you want to win this game, or would you just prefer a draw, mate? Just for your own, I guess, where Leicester are in the table.
It's a difficult. I think I'd have to go for a draw. I think, a few weeks ago I was on here and I said, West Ham, they've had a brilliant season, but they'll drop down. They'll maybe top 6, if that. But they keep going on, and it's weird actually because the last time Leicester had a season as good as this was when we won the league, and West Ham also had a very good season that year as well. So, they're playing good football, and Jesse Lingard was a player that Leicester were actually linked with in January, and I'll hold my hands up. I laughed it off and said, "Oh, come on, like we can do better than that." But he's been brilliant for them. He's really improved them. But he will be a miss tomorrow. Is it just in a clause? Is it in the contract that he's not playing? Is it
just a game, innit?
So he will be a miss to them. As Corey said, Ben Rama will obviously step in and try and be effective there. Fingers crossed he can for them. But I think, with Man United, when they've got, an £80 million fridge at the back, who's paid off our brand new training ground, it's difficult for them at times. And, they really do need to add some strength at the back there, Manchester United. But for now, I do think they'll finish in the top 4. I do. I think they'll maintain it. I think they'll pick up enough results to finish in the top 4. But I sat here, Joe, and I said it would be a story, as you've reminded me several times since. I said it would be a story if Man United won the league, which I still believe it would have been a story because of the recent years, the last few years, and how they've been. But they're just not. I don't think anyone's good enough this year to catch up with Man City. So I still don't think West Ham will finish in the top 4. I still think maybe fifth or 6th. But I am hoping for a draw in this fixture. So I'll go for a 1-1.
1-1. I think even Corey will have to admit any European football's good, isn't it, mate? Even if it's the European Conference.
That's the mad thing. I actually genuinely don't care. Like, if we get Europa League, I'll still be buzzing either way. I just think it's impressive for West Ham long term this season to go and beat some of these Manchester Uniteds, even for next season. I'm more concerned about the summer, how we build, how we invest, who we get in, because then I think we can keep top 10 or top 8, and I'll be more than happy with that. But yeah, listen, away days, nothing better, I reckon.
Well, Corey, Europe means so much to you. Of course, when you won the Intertoto Cup, you could never forget who you beat in the final, could you?
Yeah. You never even remember.
Do you even know now, Corey?
Oh God, I can't remember, honestly.
Unbelievable.
Is it Mets?
Yes, it was Mets.
It's in there. Know your history.
Oscar, where do you see this one going, brother?
I've got to admit, Diallo looked good for them last night. I can't lie. He looks a bit of a player in terms of what he could do on the ball. But I fancy West Ham here to cause a bit of a few problems on the counter and that lot. Looking at Ben Rama carrying the ball, Antonio against Maguire and Lindelof, I think it's a mismatch. I think obviously Maguire, I think he's good against physical strikers. I think it suits him. I think he does suit it. But against a mobile striker who's strong as well, I think he's got problems tomorrow dealing with Antonio. And I just look across the pitch. I think West Ham have got players in there. Rice and Zucek, I fancy to win the midfield battle. I think Rice was good again, to be fair, against us. Not as good as what he was at Ellen Road, but I thought he was pretty good again. Annoying, I will say that much. He is a very, very annoying player to play against. I don't think he ever stops moaning. But anyway, that's another matter. But,
there you go.
Let it go. If he does the business tomorrow, I will definitely let it go, to be fair, Corey. But I'm going to back West Ham here. I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. Craig Dawson from a set piece again. He's going to tower above Maguire and head it home. And West Ham are going to win.
I would love that, mate. I would love that. Let's quickly get some score predictions because I'm conscious of time. We were speaking about Wilder for so long. We've done the Leeds Chelsea game earlier on the big match preview, but let's just get the guests' thoughts and opinions. Oscar, we're very worried about this one. I think Oscar said 2-2. I, through gritted teeth, said 2-1 Leeds win, although I don't really think I believe it. But I said it all the same. Ben, Chelsea Leeds, what are your thoughts, mate?
I think you'd be happy with this one. I actually fancy Leeds 2-1 as well. I think they're set up to cause them problems. Tuchel's still finding his feet. And let's be honest, Leeds are a side that even if they were 5-0 down, they'll be fighting for their lives. That sort of side. Bielsa will not allow them to slip off. And I think, you know, that top 4, it's not set in stone. There's every chance that sides are going to slip up. And I think Leeds are the ones to start Chelsea's little hiccups. I fancy Leeds to put a performance in 2-1. I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'd love that, honestly, because you know the thing is, it reminds us of the Leicester game and the Liverpool game, in that the whole Leeds United fan base are sort of resigned to the fact that we're probably not going to do well. No one's given us any sort of backing, cat in hell's chance against this resurgent Chelsea side. And it probably will be, we'll probably turn up and we'll turn it on, and I hope that is to be the case. But Corey, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's a real tough one for Leeds, isn't it? But I'm kind of hoping, just from that neutral point of view, although I hate Chelsea, that it is quite an open-ended game. And I think you could be, like Ben says, maybe the side that Tuchel hasn't quite accommodated for yet, because a lot of the games he tends to control the midfield, and having Kante in there is like having 2 players. But I thought you did a lot better against the second half with Dallas in the midfield. So I wonder whether you put him in there just to help you control it a little bit more. But like I touched on earlier, break that midfield, and then you're isolating that back 3, and who knows? Leeds are the side to be ambitious enough to try and do that, and I don't think anyone's quite cracked that formula. So I was going to go 2-2. I want a high-scoring game.
I'm getting more confident here. Ben's pumped me up, and then Corey's giving me some more reasons.
We're going to batter him. We're going to batter him.
Right, in the morning, I'll be like, fucking come on.
Bamford
How
hat-trick.
are you going to bring me down?
I think this game is going to be as open as a big skip. I tell you what. By the way, MC Hammer is trending on Twitter, and I just want to see why. His real name, by the way, Stanley Burrell, which I think is just great. No, that's not funny. 3-2 to Leeds is what I think is going to happen. This is going to be end to end. It's going to be the goaliest game of the weekend. Really exciting for the neutral. And I don't know if Rafinha is available, but whatever happens, he'll be involved in some respects, even if it's just on the bench.
And why?
Oh, because he's good, isn't he?
He is, mate. He is. Locks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with everyone else. I think I don't think the fixture's as fruity as it would have been if Frank Lampard, Fat Frank, was in charge, of course. But I do fancy Leeds to cause a bit of mayhem, if I'm honest. You know, in that game tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? It is tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the last time Chelsea lost a game was the 19th of January against Leicester. So I'm hoping Leeds kind of bring them back down to earth a little bit tomorrow and get the win. I think they will. And I will go with a 2-1 Leeds win.
Nice. I'm really shocked, Oscar. You, mate. We were all like...
I'm taking this. I'm taking this. I did all of this. It's more positive than us.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I mean. It was actually getting that dire that someone put in our private chat was, do you think we should just start being positive? Because this is going well.
It was Phil of all people tell us be more positive.
Yeah.
Phil?
The most negative.
Yeah. I don't know what I was on about with the skip, although, Oscar, you are dressed like someone who sleeps in it.
I'm going to let it go, mate. I'm going to let it go. But at least I've got a manager, mate.
We do.
At least I'm going to be in the Premier League next season.
Okay. That one was better because we technically do still have a manager.
Yeah. Nice. Right. That's Leeds Chelsea, and by all accounts, we're going to win tomorrow, which I'm buzzing for. I hate that kickoff time though, because if we do get beaten, we get beat well. It'll ruin the rest of my weekend.
I'll tell you one thing, Joe, that I'm looking forward to next season: Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoffs.
That's a fair point. Right, Liverpool Wolves. Let's end with Liverpool Wolves. Ben, is it? Are you like top 4 done? It's gone.
Well, it's not done yet, is it? Still 30-odd points to play for, but for Liverpool to get in that top 4, serious walls have to fall down at a few clubs, and I think, you know, you have to take form into consideration. There's sides around us that the form's much better. I think if Liverpool start slipping up a few more games, then you're going to see us fully on the Champions League, and I think we can win it. Anyone that says Liverpool don't have a chance in the Champions League, they've obviously not watched them before. I fancy us against Wolves, though. I think now that we've got a few players back, Jota, back through the middle, Fabinho's back in the 6. For me, I think he's the best centre defensive midfielder in the league. Not being biased, even Jürgen was saying it the other day, he was outstanding against Leipzig. And I think he's going to try and form a partnership with Phillips and Kabak, because he's had to. Look, against Leicester, you had Alisson panicking and coming out for the ball. He's an unbelievable goalkeeper, but I think when you're chopping and changing your centre-halves, goalkeepers rely on confidence. And I think he's been a bit all over the place since we've been chopping and changing. You've had the injuries and then players playing out of position. It's gone from bad to worse, hasn't it? And, Klopp's mum, Alisson's dad, having tragedies and shit like that. But I do think Liverpool are going to start picking up the pace, as bad as it sounds. We've been atrocious over the last few weeks. But something's got to give. I think in Europe, they've had a little refresh and a reset. They look a lot better in themselves. And I do think Liverpool will put in a performance against Wolves. Wolves can't find a win. Liverpool need a win. We'll just see. We'll just take it as it comes. They've not been great. They can't do any worse, in my opinion. I think we're a horrible side to come up against now. You'll see a much better side. Liverpool going forward with the right players in the right positions. So I fancy us against Wolves.
Yeah, nice. I still think there's a glimmer of hope there. I mean, that's the reason I asked the question. I think maybe there's a chance. Quite a turnaround, and like you say, there'd have to be a lot of moving parts. But you don't become a bad side overnight, do you? Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. I think there's a lot of people reveling in it, but listen, Liverpool are.
It's one of them, and it's a mad season.
Yeah,
it is a mad season, and look, we haven't done ourselves any favours. Anyone that said Klopp out and stuff, I haven't got a clue. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot that's gone against us. Loads of sides have suffered with no fans. I think we certainly have. You boys know, you all support different sides. Come to Anfield with a full house that's in full flow. It's a tough ask for anyone. You know what I mean? There's been games like we wouldn't have beat Barcelona 4-0 without any fans. It's as simple as that. The fans drive them on. But look, we haven't done ourselves any justice, as I was saying. We've made mistakes in games, and we've just got to shake it off now. Take it as it comes. Stop worrying about the top 4. Put points on the board, and see how we get on.
I think it's mad, isn't it? Like we've seen a few people. I swear they're just trolls, but sometimes we see, Bielsa are out and all that sort of stuff. And for people to be calling for Klopp, it's madness. I seen an interview, I think it was on ITV, when a reporter tried to question Gerrard, and he just shut it down straight away. And he said, Liverpool fans do not want me in charge. They want Jurgen Klopp in charge,
Yeah, mate. It's simple as look. Gerrard he's going to be maybe the next Liverpool manager. I think in 2024. I think that's when Jurgen probably does go. He ain't going to go anytime soon. He wouldn't leave like this. It's as simple as that. He's not that type of fella. He lives and breathes Liverpool at the minute. And if there was a man to turn it around, it's him. I think we need to just get ourselves into the summer. I expect Liverpool to have an exciting summer from a few of the snippets that I've heard. There's only one side, in my opinion, that push City, and it's us. I don't know if you boys agree or disagree. But with a full fit Liverpool...
Chelsea next season, though?
Next season.
It's hard to say. I think, look, if we could get Van Dijk and stuff back, Liverpool are, they're a top side. Let's not forget, they've won everything over the last few years. We'll be back, but I do fancy us in the Champions League. I think if you asked all the top sides in Europe who you don't want to play against, we'll be in there. We'll definitely be in that conversation because they've won it 6 times and there's a reason they've done that. Let's see. It's going to be an interesting end to it. There's a few things to go on in that top 4, and if we worry about ourselves, I do see sides above us dropping points, and I think it starts this weekend. We've got to capitalise for once. We fucked around for a few weeks now. Need to put it to bed.
You mentioned
Ben, can I just? I'm really good at this game. I think your accent. You are from. Don't tell me. Liverpool.
I am.
I'm really good at that. I can normally get it after a few, second me an hour. But if I'm in a restaurant, and so I hear a voice, I'll be like, I can Liverpool.
Of course.
Great banter that owl, mate. Great banter that owl, mate.
Thank you. If I'm taking that from Oscar, it's obviously not my finest.
But Ben, you mentioned the summer
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
obviously. Rafinha keeps getting mentioned, doesn't he? Obviously, Leeds fans think he's going nowhere. It was mad. I got a DM midweek off someone asking if Rafinha had any clauses in his contract. I don't know why they asked me. I don't speak to Orta or know Rafinha, but they asked me if any clauses because apparently Liverpool had been in contact with his agent. I'm not sure if there's any truth in it. I doubt it, to be fair. But is Rafinha someone that excites you, mate, if the links are to be true?
I think he's a top player, but I don't think Leeds are going to allow him to go. I think how stupid would it be if you sold him without even letting the fans see him play? That'd be daft. I don't think he'd want to do it as well. I think he's better staying at Leeds. But yeah, I think there's a few exciting summers for a few clubs. We're certainly going to have one. People keep saying a big rebuild. I don't think we need a massive rebuild. We get 3 top signings in my opinion. Centre back, they're going to go for a centre attacking midfielder. And, you know, people may think we're stupid thinking about Mbappe, but that is definitely on the table. It's whether or not he wants to take the risk. I think there's 2 sides that sign him, Liverpool or Real Madrid. And I think at the minute, with the way the finances are with the 2 Spanish big boys, I don't think they're going to be into it. Let's see. If it meant Sadio Mane went into a deal, I think that's going to be an option to look at. I don't think he's been in good form lately. Needs to sort himself out. And if that was the deal with PSG, Mane goes the other way, and Liverpool get Mbappe, I think we'd be tough to turn it down. I'd
love someone as good as that at the peak of their powers coming to the Premier League, because we normally always lose them, don't we, to the Spanish clubs, you know. Or,
if we get Haaland and Mbappe in this league, then we are the super. No one comes close to English football. English football just takes over.
Yeah, it does, mate. Look, top talent. It's slowly fizzling out. You know, it's whether or not he takes the risk. Let's be honest. Liverpool are trying to use their Nike sponsorship to get a deal done, and you know, LeBron James and shit is. You know, he's trying to do a collaboration with Mbappe. So I know he owns shares at Liverpool as well, LeBron. So it's definitely at the table. I think Liverpool would try to be at the top table this summer because they have to. If City were to go and get Haaland, problems for all the sides, in my opinion.
Yeah, Haaland.
Leeds sent you the video.
He was born in Leeds. He should come back and play for Leeds.
Proud Yorkshireman.
We were speaking about it the other day because his cousin's doing bits as well, isn't he? His cousin's scoring goals. So we were saying, we said, what we need to do is just lock up Alfinger Haaland and start farming the Haaland sperm and just knocking out loads of little Haalands everywhere because they're all good at football.
That's unbelievable, isn't he?
Yeah, he's amazing, man. I just love that he's Leeds. Like the fact he went up to Stuart Dallas in an international and asked for his shirt and give him the old matching on together and all that sort of stuff. It's great, man. It's great. So Ben's got Liverpool beating Wolves
2-0.
2-0. I'm going to second that.
I don't know. 1-0. I didn't watch the Champions League in midweek, and I know Liverpool. It would be the most Liverpool thing in the world to go and win the Champions League after this season because you could just tell. But I thought Fulham scored them, to be fair, and I think that would concern me. So I mean, 1-0. Adama, Neto. If they play the high line, there's a problem there. But yeah, I think 1-0. To be fair.
Hal, do you want to give us a score prediction or something? A little anecdote, maybe?
Well, I mean, I was thinking of more things that would be good next season. So, no VAR, Benjamin Bloom. I think the best thing is fans on social media not calling my club Sheffield. That's golden. That means so much to me. All these Premier League tourists who haven't got a clue, have never been to the stadium, calling it Sheffield. In honesty, you know I don't like Jurgen Klopp. Ever since he came out with that nonsense, you have 3 subs and 1 point and all that, except in a German accent. Don't come after Wilder, all right? Because I was going to say you'll lose. At the moment, he's going to win because he's going to stick around, and Wilder's not. But
he's got a job.
Yeah, for that reason. I mean, I think like Guardiola said today, if Guardiola was at Sheffield United, he'd be fighting relegation, and if Chris Wilder was at Man City, Chris would be top of the league. And Guardiola gets it. So I like Guardiola. So for that reason, 4-0 Wolves.
Brilliant. Locks, It's Guardiola, isn't it? Anyway, not
Yeah,
Guardiola.
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 Hang on.
Guardiola.
Oscar, that I've had to listen to you mispronounce Mourinho ever since I've been on this. Where you call him you call him Jose, where it's Jose, and I never ever bring it up. Well, now I am.
Fine. Guardiola.
Guardiola. That's why I like Guardiola.
Wilder, Chris Wilder.
I've always called him Guardiola, literally, till you've just told me that. I hadn't even thought about it.
Chrissy Wilder.
That's completely different. It's an English surname.
Whatever.
I can say Rafinha, I can't say Guardiola.
What?
I mean, sorry, mate. Guardiola. I was thinking of Pep. No, I think Ben's spot on, mate. I think Liverpool need to have a good end to the season now, and they can carry that momentum through to next year. If they add to the squad with your Mbappe, I mean, what a signing that would be! It would be. It's too good to be true. Like in my head, I'm thinking, no, surely not. We're not going to get Mbappe in the Premier League, but if we did, it would be massive, for any of the teams who could get him. So, yeah, I just think. I mean, Oscar mentioned, Corey mentioned it and Ben mentioned it. It'd be funny if, it'd be typical Liverpool if they finish outside the top four, but then go on and win the Champions League. And by all means, we've lost two big teams now, right? Barcelona and Juventus are both out of the Champions League, and that's that's big for the tournament. And Liverpool, by all means, they could go and win it. So. They have two options. They have two ways of qualifying for Europe, for Champions League next season, finishing top four or winning the Champions League this year, and that that gives some hope to them. I don't think they'll accumulate enough points in the last 10 or 11 games or however many there are to finish in the top four. So I think they'll put all their eggs into the Champions League basket, as we were saying about Arsenal. Earlier on about Europa League, I think they will focus on the Champions League now because the Premier League has been I don't know if Ben agrees, it's been a disaster this year.
Yeah.
Probably the second worst reigning champions behind Leicester City. But yeah, I think this weekend, I think Liverpool will. I think they will.
Leeds is worse than all that. When we won in 91-92 the following season, we didn't even win a game away from home all season. So I think we'll probably take that, to be honest. But anyway, go on.
I'll take not being the worst. But yeah, I think Liverpool will give a good account of themselves in the last 10, 11 games in Premier League and Champions League. But I just don't think they'll have enough to kind of finish in the top four, unfortunately. So. I think they're going to have to try and win the Champions League, which, of course, is also a very hard task. So, yeah, we'll see.
Definitely. And Oscar?
I think Liverpool are a totally different proposition, in terms of how they set up on Wednesday night. Fabinho back in, as Ben says. I'd actually go one step further than what Ben was saying in terms of best centre defensive midfielder in the league. I'd actually say in the world, to be honest. I think in terms of, I can't think of anyone who I'd prefer to see play in the number 6 role to Fabinho in terms of all the players you can give me. Certainly at the moment. So massive difference in Liverpool's performances. Obviously, they've actually dropped Firmino on against Leipzig as well. Jota came in, and to be fair, there looked a lot. He saw Mane and Salah score. So in that sense, Liverpool. Let's not forget how good they were last season. Now that they've got the two big key parts of it in terms of Fabinho's back in. They've actually got the front three going again a little bit last week. I could easily see Liverpool putting the right run together in both the League and Champions League between now and the end of the season, because you still look at that team, there's still a lot of world-class players in that team. I mean, Thiago, to be fair, looked superb the other night as well. So I'm going to go. I think they're going to batter Wolves, to be honest, because based on what we saw from Wolves in both games against us, if you're giving Salah and Mane and Jota the kind of chances that Wolves gave us, I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool. I think they're going to absolutely batter them, to be honest.
Nice. It's a good score. I think, I'll go 2-0. I'm trying to think of what I did, mate.
So it's Guardiola.
Yeah, Guardiola.
I've come on all Leeds TV, and I'm been having a go at because I'm Yorkshire. It's outrageous.
No, but everyone knows it's Guardiola.
You having to go with my appearance, so you know you get what you deserve, mate. You get what you deserve.
You look like that woman in Home Alone who feeds the pig.
Kevin, run!
Yeah, you know her.
Oh God!
You look like
that's Piers Morgan, mate. That's Piers Morgan.
You look like an American Make-A-Wish kid.
Right. Any more? Any more?
Listen, Oscar,
Right. Any more you want to start with, mate?
We did the Leeds edition chase, right? And he didn't have a cap on. We went off because the Zoom ran out, and he came back with a cap on. And Rob Mulholland, who's a comedian, actually turned around and went, Oscar looks like he's won a competition through a Make-A-Wish.
Nice.
So that's nice. You said basically,
It's the cap. It's the cap.
It's the hat. Yeah, it's not doing you any favors.
Just fuck off out.
It's finally broken. It's finally broken.
Look, man,
Just enjoy losing away, mate. Enjoy losing away.
Corey, I owe you a tenner. What week did it take till he told me to
You
fuck
tried
off?
persistently now for like nearly 28 game weeks.
28 weeks, that's all.
Oh, fucking hell. Tears of your eyes.
You'll have to come back, though, in some capacity. Even if
I've just been told to fuck off. I'm thinking it's my Friday evening.
Bruno Fernandes.
So come on in. I've just actually, Oscar, you say that. I've just been sent a message on my Twitter, a picture of Morgan Sanson, who plays for Aston Villa. Have you seen him?
Huh?
He's got my face. He's another one who's got my face. I look like so many people.
Yeah. You do look like Bruno Fernandes. It has to
Well,
be
you're
said.
all Googling Morgan Sanson going, yeah, it does, yeah.
Cool. Or the Yorkshire David Baddiel we've had in the comments. That's a good shout.
Yorkshire deal.
What does that mean that Vic's done? What does that, I'm too old, what does that arrow mean?
Vic. Or Hal is better than Rob Mulholland, I think.
Oh, well, that's not true, but
I'd
that's
agree to
lovely.
that.
No, Rob's
agree to
very,
that.
very good YouTuber, very funny.
Oh, do you check out what he is? He's a funny guy.
He is
a
good.
very funny guy.
But he's not in house class, I'm afraid.
No, he's very, very good guy, very funny guy. I didn't know what that meant because I'm nearly 40.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's what it means. Corey will be able to tell us. If the arrow's like that, like...
Well, what did it say first? Did it say Hal and then Rob? Or...
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that means he's not as funny. I thought he's the other way around. He's like that way.
Locks, you're young.
The angles are wrong.
If the
This is what people tune in for. This is good.
whoever the point is on is the better person.
So yeah,
Right.
So the guy's
I've
doing it
I've
on
got it wrong for years.
I love the way Hal said, Locks, you're young. By the sounds of it, mate, everyone's young compared to you.
I'm actually wrong. The point is the worst person. So
yeah,
Hal
it's a math symbol. It's a
it
math
was Hal.
symbol.
It's greater
Yeah.
than. What?
Someone-
How are we discussing this?
greater than, yes.
I didn't know that though. I didn't know.
Gosh, people
are
have been really
so you guys are having to go at me, and you don't even know what the greater than symbol is.
He's doing YMCA down the bottom left.
You know what I mean?
This is a great shout. It's a math symbol created by the Greeks. Not sure being 40 is an excuse.
By the way, this is the sort of stuff I will be discussing on the watch along that I'm doing on Sunday. You've got a choice of me or Locks. I'm quite happy for you to dip in and dip out between two. Whichever one of us is losing will probably be the better watch.
I would recommend watching Hal's channel.
Oh, please. This is... I would agree with that, yeah.
Do you know what, as well? I wanted to do this because we were doing about chants earlier. I don't know if you've heard Rafinha. Oscar, have you heard Rafinha's new chant?
I've heard about it, yeah. He's,
What are you saying?
yeah.
You like it?
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm going to give you a blast. Hal, better than this Keane Bryan stuff, all right? He's Brazilian. He didn't even cost 20 million. Rafinha, he's fucking brilliant. And he plays on the wing for Leeds. Boom, boom. Brilliant, that, innit?
That's good, that.
Not
Yeah,
having it.
It's not the Johnny Ertl song, but it's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's a good one, isn't it? It's a good one. Someone's done it on the guitar, and well, Adonis, from Roaring Peacocks. It's really cool.
I think the reason I didn't love it is it's the same. It's the She's Electric, right? Oasis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what the Sander Berger song is for us, and that was original. So.
Oh, go on then. What does Sander Berger's go like? Although, to be fair, there's a few people that want him at Leeds. Maybe we'll take him off.
Hal, you're talking absolute rubbish there, for starters. It wasn't your song, because I know loads of City fans. It's Edison's song to start off with.
With Charlton as well, at Everton.
Yeah, it's not your song,
Mobiles
mate.
as well.
So you can claim to be this original club and claim absolutely everything. Well, that's not your song, mate. So, there
Oscar,
you go.
I didn't know that. I guess when you were outside busking, you took all this on board. But
Well, maybe I did, to be fair.
I missed that. I genuinely thought it was an original. I won't bother singing it now. It's not original. Forget it.
It's not original now.
Oh, so is that not an original then? Have we just ripped that off?
Yeah.
No, it's not an original, that.
Oh, that's a shame. I like original songs.
Like Keen Brian.
See, I don't.
It's not like the Ronaldo Vieira song. Not like the Ronaldo Vieira song.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. There's some belters out there. Anyway, I think that's it. Now we've started going into chants and shit like that. So
and a bit of
Ben,
quick maths.
Go on then, pal.
A bit of quick maths, wasn't it? That was some reference to that song by that rapper who I've forgotten the name of at the crucial moment.
Yeah, I forgot his name now. Anyway,
Big Shaq.
Right,
Big Shaq.
Big Shaq. That's Big Shaq. Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Shaq.
Ben, tell us about Rivalry Aside. What's coming up this weekend for those that don't know?
We've got a North London derby watch along. Luke's doing it with me pal Kieran, I think, who's a big Arsenal fan, so that'll be interesting. I know the banter they give each other. I'm doing one against the Wolves. It's going to be a late one for me, but I'm sure it'll be good. I've got a few good guests popping in and out of it at half time, full time, and then we're going to do the big reaction after it. So a few things on the go, a few announcements to come as well. We brought in a few good guys to help out with some content, and it's going all right at the minute, to be fair.
Good, man. Make sure you check out Rivalry Aside, folks. Great lads and great shows, so check them out. Corey, what you got planned, brother?
Same old. Predicted 11. Look at Manchester United fall apart, and hopefully West Ham beat them as our assault on the top 4 continues. So I'm buzzing.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Hal?
We're talking maths, going in hard on symbols. We're doing.
Have you still got Aston?
Asim, yeah, he's ours now. Yeah.
Oh, so you're stolen in as well, then. Stolen in. We'll claim this. I'm not even sure Sheffield was the first United now, to be fair. I'm going to have to Google that.
Sorry, if you had Asim back, Oscar, you could afford to be heating your house.
But that's true. That's true.
No, actually, Asim genuinely has never been on our channel. I just made that up. No, I made that up for a lol, as the kids would say. Okay. We've got a match preview at 7, but the main thing is the watch-alongs. They're always, lots of fun. Doing those while we're in lockdown. There's no other games on at the same time. So I will be, having a bit of a laugh. It's very little about the football, more about the comments. So do join us and say something witty.
Cool. I'll make sure to check that out, although I don't have anything witty in my locker half of the time, so it's probably not for me, but I'll check it out all the same. Locks, what about yourself, mate? Poems?
Yeah, no, definitely never again. Not after your lot. No. I think same as everyone else. Really, just to watch along on Sunday. 2 o'clock. I think it was probably the worst team to make a. It was the worst fan base to do it to as well. I think it was terrible, but a bad decision.
It wasn't great. I'm sorry, mate. It just wasn't. It wasn't your finest hour, that one.
Mate, you want to try doing it for Leeds. We get dogs abuse from our own lot, to be honest.
I can see. Yeah, I can see how. No, I think.
We'll see how you cheeky git.
Not you. The Leeds fans, they love it, don't they?
I know.
They're like pit bulls at times. But no,
this is a channel that's watched by predominantly Leeds fans. Did you call them pit bulls? By the way, mate.
Can I just say we're all Yorkshire, aren't we? Carry on, Lux. Remember, you've got a choice of which watch along to watch on Sunday.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to say that.
Just call you pit bulls, by the way, as well. First adding.
Me and Hal will be doing a watch along at the same time on 2 different channels. I would recommend watching his one. It will probably be a lot more amusing than ours. Well, probably not because we will beat them. But yeah, I think I think on Monday as well, Hal, you're over on our channel, 7 o'clock, something like that, to make up for your.
We haven't discussed a time, but yes, to make up for my tardiness today. I do apologise.
So yeah, watch along Sunday. Post-match reaction, whatever, on Monday, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. And Oscar will be in the morning with lineups, watch along, player ratings, post-match. Yeah. And while you're at it as well, guys, subscribe to the Just Your Football show that's just been created on YouTube. Make sure you check me out, please.
Get on it, guys. Get on it.
So, you know, I was just thinking earlier today, Joe, what the world needs is another YouTube channel. So that's a great idea. Yeah, maybe do a podcast next as well.
No, do you know, I want to have a little solo project where I can just talk about other things other than Leeds. You know, that's all it is.
Excellent. Yeah. I will check that out. I will subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe to me, mate. Basically, it's got to the point where I might have to go look for a job again, and I don't want to. So I'm gonna give this another venture. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, please subscribe to Just Your Football Show, Legends. I will put a link in, and I'll put it in the comments to this video. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Great show as always, hour and a half. Sorry, longer than expected, but it's always a great laugh we use on a Friday night. And yeah, we will see you in a bit. Good luck for the weekend, folks. And yeah, I'm going to play that track.